I was born in Chicago, Illinois, at the Lutheran Deaconess Hospital, October 26, 1928. I lived in Chicago for 2 years, and then we moved to a small community named Atlas, Wisconsin. And we moved there so my dad could seek employment and also to be near our extended family. Remember parts and other parts hearsay, but we lived in a big house without any electric power and no running water, and we heated our house by a wooden stove, but we closed off part of the house because we couldn't afford the heat. We had kerosene lamps and a lantern, and then we used a lantern, and my mom would carry the lantern from room to room, and we'd all sort of travel around together because we wanted to conserve on the kerosene. Mom was a stay-at-home mom, like most moms in that day, and my dad was a carpenter, but he couldn't find work in Chicago, so I remember when he used his last 3-cent stamp to write to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt to inquire about work, and then he got a communication from his office to try the WPA, and then got a job in Minneapolis working on bridges and roadways and so forth. So at that time my dad lived in Minneapolis 5 days a week and then came home to Wisconsin on weekends. And then we rode to school in a chicken coop, an old chicken coop that was put on a truck, and that's how we got to school. And of course there's no heat, so that's how I froze my feet. And it was a 2-room country school without running water, and the boys had to go over to the school before school started and stoke the fire. We had ice cream and Jell-O in the winter, because for ice cream my mom would make homemade pudding and then put it out in the snowbank until it froze. So that would be our ice cream. And same with Jell-O, she could make that in the winter because, mix it up and then put that in the snowbank. When I think of a typical meal, I think of pancakes, and more pancakes, because I recall eating up to 16 pancakes at one meal. And I know we had soup, chicken, and different homegrown vegetables. I remember that this one family grew like potatoes and green beans, and we'd go over there pick green beans, and then they in turn would give us some. I don't remember that we helped anyone out with food. I know my mom would babysit for people and things like that. And very occasionally we'd get a triple dip ice cream cone for 5 cents at the store, and the penny candy case was really full of different varieties, and bread cost 10 cents a loaf at that time. And then we'd get buttermilk from the creamery, or we'd buy it there. It was for 5 cents a quart, and then when it went up to 8 cents, then we couldn't afford it, so we didn't get any buttermilk then. Probably the only, or they called them tramps in those days, that would hop on a railroad car and get a ride, and then they would come, knocking at your door and asking for food. And I know once my mom made them a sandwich, but they didn't want that, so they threw it back at her. Well, my mom did a lot of sewing as far as dresses and that, and then we got clothes from different people. I remember one Sunday especially, we came home from church and there was a big box of clothes, so that was just like Christmas, so we were thrilled. We got a lot of hand-me-downs from different neighbors and friends. Well, it was a great learning experience, because I think, you really learn to appreciate things, and it sticks with you through your lifetime.